just beaten by a couple of fighters, Michael Watson and Chris Eubank, and Eubank is at ringside here tonight. But this is going to be a really, really tough job for Nigel Benn, and on this ice rink, he has got to stay icy cool. And there's Chris Eubank on holiday, in fact, and he says he's here because he's really fascinated by this contest. And for some reason, the American national anthem is being played here. For the referee, just a little burst for the referee from Las Vegas. I thought for a moment that they were trying to wind up Nigel Benn by playing the wrong tune, as it were. Well, Mauro Galvano reminds me of that saying, if he was chocolate, he'd eat himself. But the preliminaries are almost over. And right alongside me are your big fight commentary team, Jim Watts, and first of all, Reg Guttridge.
Well, hello. As Jim said, you've certainly got a ringside seat with us here. Very hostile atmosphere indeed, I have to say. He's a little bit of a show-off, is Mauro Galvano, and, well, maybe he doesn't realise that his well-being could well be in jeopardy here, because he is a bit of a hit-and-run merchant. He doesn't score that many knockouts, in fact only 4 from 21 wins. But he's really fancied locally to duck and dive, pinch points in his third defence of the WBC Championship. Super middleweight at 12 stone, and he came in right on 12 stone, the Italian champion. And there he is, pacing up and down, and the record, of course, 133 of 35 there, and 29 stoppages. Well, he may have had 1 or 2 Mexican road sweepers on the way in. Now, I hope that the Italian doesn't lean across and kiss him on the forehead, as the Italian did when he fought the American Ron Essett. No, well, I'm glad about that, because I don't think that Benn would like that. And there he is there, 21 out of 24. And the only one he lost was at the light heavyweight division. So the referee is Joe Cortez, originally from New Jersey, now Las Vegas. And then you've got judges from France, Las Vegas, and Belgium. Now he's got to come out blasting Benn. He says it's going to be the old me in there. There's no use me trying to stand and box this fellow. I've got a crowd on him, and as you've already heard, the old saying about knocking out to draw in Italy is fairly true, because there's only ever been 2 British fighters win on points in Italy in World Championship fights, and they were both flyweights. Referee Cortez, by the way, was very strict at the rules meeting about a boxer hitting another one when he was down. That stems, of course, when Benn nailed Oran Barkley in Las Vegas and caused a bit of a storm in the American fight fraternity. Surprisingly, they didn't like the rough stuff. They've been dishing it out long enough. So there's the opening minute gone then, and you can see the pattern that he's going to set. He's already set his stall, I think, Galvano. He's going to use this ring. It isn't the largest size ring. It's about 18 feet inside, and it can go up to 24. So that would suit Ben. Ducking lower than I've seen him in a long time, Ben, to get in there, Jim.
I think he's looking to the body in the first round, Reg. I think he's looking if he can spend a couple of rounds round about the midriff here, maybe slow this fellow down. I think the main thing Ben must do, he must make his punches count. The good thing about boxing in Italy, you don't have to worry about piling up points because you don't really think you're going to get a verdict. So conserve energy, make every punch count, don't waste.
For those sequin trunks that Ben has there couldn't be worn in England. They just brought in a regulation because some of them drop on the canvas apparently. And you may be able to spot that on this trunks there. Andy on the front and Brown on the back was dedicated to Ben's elder brother, who sadly died at 17. So now we're wondering whether he's going to land that one punch as he did against Dan Sherry with an awesome finality. But he struggled a bit against the South African
That won't
Malinga.
get through, Reg. Just caught him high.
Oh, followed through with the elbow there. He didn't like that at all. He hurt Ben with that one. It was the elbow. Well, if Ben can make Galvano lose his rag a bit, I think that'll suit him.
There's two right hands have got through, two decent punches. Galvano took them well, but they're shaking him up slightly.
Well, that's a good start if that keeps up. It's scheduled for 12, but it looks as though Ben's really going for the finish, doesn't it? No question about it. There he is. And listen to Jimmy Tibbs, of course. And also his new personal manager, the current one anyway, Peter de Freitas in the corner. So a good start, I thought, by Ben, Jim.
Yeah, gets through with a couple of decent right hands. A little bit of rough stuff from Galvano. I mean, that's right out of order. The referee should have been a bit more strict with that. I was worried about Ben there in case maybe a tooth had been damaged, but he seemed to recover from it. But a good round for Ben. He was getting close. He was getting the punches off. This fella's going to be difficult to pin down. He wrestles and grabs.
He's had a couple of 10-rounders against, well, ordinary South American fighters. And he's had 6 over 12 rounds, Galvano. But as Ben quite rightly says early on, he hasn't fought a puncher like me, and that's quite right. He won the championship from the Argentinian Dario Mattioni, and that was in Monte Carlo.
That's the third time Ben's got through cleanly with that right hand. This is really good news for Nigel Benn.
Different character than the one that fought the South African Malinga, Jim.
I don't know if there's a little bruise showing. See a little redness in Galvano's left eye. I don't think it's a cut, maybe just a bruise. But that's decent right hands getting through. Good news this early. I'm sure if there's a little bit of blood. It's very slight, but there's a little mark on Galvano's left eyebrow.
American referee Cortez establishing his authority very early in this contest, which is good news. Yes, it's just showing a speck of blood now, Galvano, on the left eye, on the eyebrow.
Well, it was a punch that did it, Reg, so with the funny rules that are kicking about, it was definitely a punch that caused it.
Well, we expected bedlam from the Italian crowd, but at the moment Ben's silencing them a bit, isn't he? Attendance was affected by heavy rain in Rome. And he has to be, I think, the first Roman world champion, Galvano, so you would have expected huge support. So this relentless pursuit, that's exactly what Ben's got to do now.
Galvano's not a big puncher, Reg, but he's robust enough. I mean, he's holding his own inside. He's certainly strong enough. Not a big puncher, but certainly strong enough.
He's trying to stave him off there, Galvano, as we come up to the end of this round.
Extra gold, cold filtered to us. Gold, shall I compare thee to a golden summer's day? Thou art more temperate, more sublime. Oh, that this too solid flesh should melt, thaw and resolve itself into a dew. Coors, how do you do?
Wasn't that prude?
This Sunday, we launch the Sunday Times Theatre Club with the world's biggest ever ticket offer. 2 tickets for the price of 1. In only 1 paper.
Third round then, and they really built up the crowd at the end of the second there for Galvano. They thought they had something to cheer when he started to get back into the fight, as they say. He really pointed a trade punch as well. That could well be his downfall if he does that. You hang out your chin against a fellow like Benn, even if you haven't been on the floor, you're liable to hit the deck, and well, he definitely would be the author of his own misfortune.
The good thing about what Ben is doing, Reg, is making Galvano work. He's forcing him into throw leads, and you can see he's uncomfortable doing that. Ben's stalking him, keeping up close, forcing him to throw the leads first, and it's been working.
Oh, it's a good shot inside that, wasn't it? Came back, little uppercut there. He staggered a bit with that, the champion.
See, Ben's tactics are perfect, Reg. He's forcing a counter punch to throw the first punch.
He's laughing, actually, Ben, would you believe this? He can get 20 seconds to get back in the ring, but don't count that as a knockdown, and quite rightly, Joe Cortez is saying, no knockdown.
He's not the most gentlemanly boxer I've ever seen, Reggie. He's doing everything. He's trying to rub his face into his head into Ben's face. He's pushing him through the ropes. As we said earlier, he might not be a puncher, but he's strong enough and he's a rough one.
Yeah, he's a bit of a Jack Lanad outside the ring, and he's showing it inside as well. If either boxer goes down 3 times in 1 round, now that will not count, because under the World Boxing Council rules, they ruled that one out today. The Italians wanted it in, I think. In fact, Ben, if you recall, against Doug DeWitt and Iran Barkley, actually won with 3 knockdowns in 1 round. Ropes appeared a bit slack too, Jim, I thought.
Yeah, they do look a bit loose. I mean, Ben's gone through, Galvano almost gone through. But Ben has him looking very ragged, no rhythm. And it's not the kind of fight Galvano would have wanted, but he's reacting well to it, but this is not his kind of stuff. Galvano's climbing on for dear life up close.
Oh, he likes that. Ben loves this rough-up stuff. the old soldier there is really loading up to try and fire the trigger.
I don't know, I think he's worsened that eye a bit, Reg.
Yeah, it has, Jim. You can see that Galvano a little bit of trouble. It's not serious, I don't think. I'm sure the cornermen can cope with it at this stage anyway.
The referee wants to tidy this up a bit, Reg. Galvano's taking some liberties the way he's laying on and pushing his shoulders through.
You didn't hear the bell. You may hear the bell, actually, the viewers, but it's bad in the hall. So if they hit after the bell here, it will be genuinely that the boxers didn't hear it, although our microphones might be nearer than they can get to it anyway. As I said, there it is. It's quite a. I'm surprised they're not working on it. He's calling the referee over. He wants the doctor to look at it.
Reggie's looking for a technical draw. That's what he's looking for.
A technical draw here. At the end of the third round. That can happen after 3 rounds. If there's an injury, it can be called a technical draw under WBC rules.
This is a real try-on, Reg.
Absolutely.
A real try-on.
I don't know how bad the cut is, Jim, but certainly...
I mean, when does a corner call a referee over and want a fight to stop? When do you ever hear that in your life? This is a real try-on by the Italians.
Oh, dear. Now, if it goes into the 4th round, Jim, then it goes to scorecards.
Goes to points. But
the bell's rung. Now, there's a problem here. The bell's gone for the 4th round, and the fight's over. See, Benn thinks he's won this, Jim, and we think that it's going to be a no decision. And a draw.
Being there was a punch that caused the cut, Reg, I don't know what they're going to come up with.
Aren't we having some controversy in boxing these days now? Benn is wrongly thinking that he's won it, and I'm afraid he's going to be disappointed if it's a draw, because Galvano will keep the title. And as Jim Watt quite rightly pointed out, for Rocco Agostino to call the referee over, knowing that at the end of the 3rd they can get a technical draw, and not if it went on a couple of more rounds, well, then he may not have got the decision anyway, ahead on points on the cards.
See, as well as the cut, the eye has swelled up, Reg, but I've never seen a referee manipulated as much in my whole life. That was a real take-on by the Italians, and if this works for them, it's a disgrace. The referee was totally manipulated, and would expect better from a referee of his experience.
Benn has just tumbled what has happened, actually, Jim. Jimmy Tibbs showed out to us, and we said we think it's going to be a draw. And the fact that it's drawn out a long time like this, there's an argument going on there with Roberto Sabatini, the promoter, and Barry Hearn, who's representing Benn. And he's arguing well. This is something that happened at the rules meeting, and he's calling out to the referee. There's no game like the fight game, Jim. I don't know whether he's being congratulated there, but...
I'll tell you what, I wonder how the rule is phrased, Reg. I thought if the referee stops the fight, then it's a technical draw. But what if they actually retire?
Yeah, we've got to confirm that the Italian corner's arguing that it's a no contest or a technical draw. But Barry Hearn, the British promoter, of course, is arguing strongly for Benn's case.
Well, I would imagine the worst that could happen, Reg, is a rematch. I mean, if this happens, then there'll be an immediate rematch, but still frustrating the way Benn was boxing, the way he was getting through with the shots.
There's going to be a bit of an uproar with the contingent from Britain that I spotted in the back of the hall, the London East End lads, by the look of it. They're not going to be too pleased with this, because I think that they think Benn's won. And yes, get a word with Nigel Benn with Gary Newbon.
Nigel, let me tell you what's going on. The Italians are trying to make it a draw. Barry Hearn is arguing for you with the WBC that it's a technical knockout in your favour. That's why the delay is going on. Nigel?
I ain't got nothing to say.
Well, you can see how steamed up Nigel Benn understandably is. And he's going over now, leaning over the ropes. There's the officials there. On the left is the promoter Roberto Sabatini and Barry Hearn, and one of the judges, Arman Kriev. obviously. And back to Gary Newman and hopefully Ben again.
Nigel, come on.
What do you want me to say? What do you expect me to say? I went out there, done the business, and like, you know, and you asked me, how do I feel, what should I say?
I didn't ask how you felt, I asked you whether you know what's going on.
No, I don't know what's going on.
Well, let me tell you, the Italians are trying to make it into a technical draw. They were looking for a way out. You should be getting a technical knockout, according to Barry Hearn.
Damn right, I should get a technical knockout. I went out there, I trained bloody 13 weeks for this, and now, like, you know,
You were boxing brilliantly, but this is Italy, and this is what goes on over here, Nigel. So you're going to have to hope that Barry Hearn can argue your case down there with the WBC. You were in brilliant form.
Sorry. Okay.
All right, they're going to get him up. Jimmy Tibbs. Jimmy, do you know can you update us? What is going on now?
Well, they're deciding over the points who was in front when he got cut. For my money, Nigel Benn was well in front. Well in front.
It looks like you might get robbed here.
Well, that doesn't. I was unexpected out here, but we've got to wait and see.
Okay, we'll update as soon as we can find out from Barry Hearn. Reg.
Well, what a mess this is, Jim, isn't it?
Well, I think the fact that the Italians quit on their stool, the referee didn't call a halt to the fight. The Italians called a halt themselves. Then it should be throwing in the towel in my books. They should lose the world title. The referee wasn't the one who decided. He was manipulated.
We still haven't got confirmed.
Well, they've got it, Reg.
I think he's got it. I think that they won a very quick appeal there. He's rushed across the ring, Barry Hearn, to say he's won it. And I hope that that's not premature.
We're live back at home. We're live back home. Come on. Well done. You've got it. Barry Hearn fought very hard down there, and I think he's turned him around.
They tried, mate. They tried.
Well done. Well done. Nigel. Come on. What a tremendous result now.
I don't know what that sounds, business.
I tell you what, as you get the emotion down, I mean, a tremendous performance tonight. You really took him on.
Champion, 2 years.
Nigel.
What round?
I know what's captured.
What round?
Third.